the University of Arizona basketball is in trouble, and I'm going to tell you why. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to College Hoops Tonight. As always, I am your host, Austin Samuels, and today we are talking about why the University of Arizona is in trouble in terms of college basketball. They could be on pace for a big decline coming into next year. Obviously, the first reason that we're going to talk about is all the players and all the talent that went to the NBA draft. Obviously, Bennedict Mathurin was the number 6 pick this past week to the Indiana Pacers. Christian Koloko and Dalen Terry all got drafted as well. That's a lot of their talent right there. Now, who is coming in to replace them? They had an interesting recruiting class, as Arizona typically does. They recruited a lot from Europe. So the two recruits they had coming in this year are one, Henri Veesaar, a center from Estonia. Not a lot of film on him right now. And then the other one is Filip Borovicanin, which is a wing from Serbia. Also, not a lot of film on him. However, he's known to be a little bit of a scorer right now. Now, let's move into players that are returning for Arizona that could be impactful for next year. Do you love college basketball? Do you want to be a part of a community that lives and breathes college basketball? Well, my friends, you have come to the right place. Here at College Hoops Tonight, we talk everything college basketball, from the transfer portal, recruiting classes, game predictions, and betting advice. If that sounds appealing to you, subscribe down below and make sure to leave a comment on whether you think my take is right. I need some of y'all to keep me in check with some of the crazy predictions and stuff that I come up with. Alright, so really there are only two returning starters and impact players for next year are Kerr Kriisa, the point guard from Europe, and Azuolas Tubelis, the power forward from Europe. Arizona does a lot of their recruiting overseas. Kriisa was alright last year, 10 points per game, nearly 5 assists. However, he's pretty inefficient, I should say. The majority of his shots come from the 3-ball, so his splits never look all that good. 35% from the field, 34% from the 3. Azuolas Tubelis is obviously the main threat coming back for the University of Arizona. Low post threat, can do a little bit of everything, has a nice floater in the mid-range. 14 points per game, 54% from the field, 26% from 3, 67 from the line. Here's the problem. Those are the only two guys coming back. And those two guys were not necessarily the glue that held that team together. Looking at last year, Bennedict Mathurin was obviously the offensive initiator for that team, the go-to scorer for that team, and the perimeter lockdown defender for that team. In the low post, who was the big-time defender for them? It was Christian Koloko, right? Every team's best big, Koloko had to guard. Another hole right there. Dalen Terry, maybe the best 3-and-D guard in all the Pac-12, is gone out the door as well. You leave a lot of both offensive responsibility and defensive responsibility to Kerr Kriisa and Azuolas Tubelis. I don't really see Kerr Kriisa becoming anything more than a glorified role player for the University of Arizona. And Azuolas Tubelis, I think he's going to have a great year, but I don't know if it's going to translate to winning, right? Here's my big question. This team has so many holes on the wings, right? They bring in these two recruits. One of them is Filip Borovicanin. He's a big question mark, right? Again, not a lot of film on him. Guy coming out from Europe. We'll see how much of an impact guy he's going to be. Sometimes Europeans take a whole year, getting used to life in the United States before they actually can go out and make an impact on the basketball court. Pelle Larsson is the guy who's probably going to step in and start for Arizona, and he is probably the guy I'm the most confident in for them. Last year, a role player guy coming off the bench hit the three ball pretty well, actually, at 36%. I don't really have a lot of problems there. I think he should step in and be a nice piece. Now, the other guy that's looking like he's going to start next year is Adama Ball for the University of Arizona. He barely played last year as a freshman. Have no idea what we're getting from him. And my biggest question for this team, how are they going to space the floor, right? You've got Azuolas Tubelis to be your main offensive threat, and I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged 18, 19 points per game next year. But the Pac-12 has gotten a lot better defensively, and I personally don't see this team being able to shoot the three ball enough to continue to be a top-tier team in the Pac-12. I could see multiple schools passing the University of Arizona next year. USC, UCLA, University of Oregon. All these teams are on the rise. I mean, even teams like Washington State and the University of Washington are on the rise as well. I think University of Arizona is going the wrong way. I think they are in trouble. I still think they're an NCAA tournament team, but more of a bubble team this year than a top 8 seed or a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament next year. Alrighty, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate all the love and support. If you haven't already, subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. And drop your comments in the comment section below. Did I get this right? What do you think about the University of Arizona for next year? Thank you all so much for watching. You've been watching College Hoops Tonight. I am your host, as always, Austin Samuels. Have a terrific rest of your week, and I will see you next time.